Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome firstly to what is going to be my new rug room stroke storage room. The rest of it is a bit of a mess, but as you can see I've got my Simple Systems feed here, and there's some more on the floor, but obviously I don't want you to see the floor because it is disgusting. But today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why we have decided to go cereal free with our horses, and just generally a bit about Simple Systems horse feeds. So for me there are two key reasons why we decided to go cereal free, and there's a couple of reasons that kind of branch off of that, but there are two very main reasons. So I'll go into them in a minute. But I will also just give you a kind of preview of what we're going to talk about. So I'm just going to talk about those reasons. I'm going to show you what the feed looks like, and then I'm going to show you what we feed and some additional little extras. I'm going to talk through what each horse gets so you get a bit of an idea. We have Archie, who is older, not too old, he's only 11, but he's competing up to elementary and he's starting to have a look at some of the medium stuff. We've got two Welshies, both youngsters, 2 and 3 year olds, and then we've got my 4-year-old Milo, who's doing a bit at the moment. He is actually probably going to get turned away for a month or two later this winter, but I'll give a little bit of an insight into what he's getting as well. So the first of my reasons for why we went cereal free, and it's actually why we kind of found cereal free, and Simple Systems in particular. So this is probably 2 or 3 years ago now. Archie had hives. For anyone that doesn't know, hives are can be caused by a couple of things, but Archie's were from an allergic reaction, and he actually had these hives which came up in lumps. For anyone that hasn't seen them, I'll try and put some pictures in. They won't be of Archie, but I'll put some pictures in somewhere at some point. And yeah, he came up in them and he had them for about 1.5 years, so like 18 months ish, and then they kind of eased away. They got really bad to the point where they actually filled down, and they just joined together and filled into his hocks and down his legs, and they were just horrendous. We did the whole exclusion diet, take everything off of him. He came off of grass completely, completely changed his hay. He had one type of hay haylage, if that makes sense. So he had just Timothy haylage, and nothing for ages. As I say, for like 18 months he still had them, and then they kind of went away, and then August bank holiday 2 years ago now, 2 years ago now, he was just suddenly horrendously itchy. He was shaking the concrete wall. If you'll see behind me, there's breeze blocks, and the wall to the right of me is no longer, because he actually completely smashed it by rubbing on it. He had to be sedated. He was also slightly colicky with it. It was like awful, and since then he has been pretty much non-stop itchy all the time. It obviously gets a little bit better in winter, the heat and everything. In summer, alleviate's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say exaggerates, but that's not really the one I want. But yeah, the summer just like worsens everything for him. And then about 1 year ago, we had him allergy tested, and he came back tested positive for 22, I think, allergies, and then on top of that he has other allergies to other things that we didn't test for, but we've just discovered over time, such as his fly spray that we used, bits and bobs like that. But I will do, if anyone's interested, a completely different video on maybe like his journey with his allergies, what we're doing now, everything that we're on, products that we found that works. Because to be honest, I don't know many other people that have horses as bad as Archie. It's a real struggle and no one really has any answers. So yeah, but that is like the main #1 reason, because we kind of came to the conclusion ourselves, but the main thing that one of the main things he's allergic to is cereals, all cereals, oats, barley, wheat. Can't do straw, can't have ryegrass, nothing. And if you look at even your sugar beet, which is meant to be just sugar beet, there's wheat in it, there's so many things that just like fillers in everything, including supplements, which we never even noticed until we had this problem with Archie. We still don't know whether it was a build-up of all these things that triggered it, and that is why he is now as bad as he is. He's become oversensitive to these things. We don't really know. There is no real other trigger, like there was no catastrophic thing, it just kind of happened. So yeah, we're not really sure, so obviously can't pinpoint it on things. And we're still finding new stuff like all the time that he's allergic to and can't cope with. But yeah, that is how we came to find Simple Systems feeds, when we were kind of at our wits' end with finding feeds that weren't, and supplements that weren't full of fillers that he couldn't have because he was allergic to. So the second of my two main reasons is that, for anyone that doesn't follow me on Instagram, you won't know, but my gorgeous pony Bryn unfortunately got laminitis in February time, I think it was February 2019, and although we did absolutely everything we could, unfortunately in April, the end of April, we had to have him put down, which was obviously horrendous, but since then that has been our main thing as well for changing to cereals, because you can't help but question yourself with these feeds being full of cereals, which really a horse was never meant to eat cereals. It's something you don't really think about because all feeds generally tend to have them in, obviously apart from Simple Systems, but yeah, like most feeds will contain cereals, so you just naturally feed them to your horse. But really, in the wild, would horses go round like looking for like oats or wheat or anything? They're trickle feeders, they eat grass, they just, good quality forage really is all a horse should need. That's why horses are capable of living out 24/7. They don't need cereals to survive, and their digestive system and their bodies weren't designed originally to cope with eating cereals. So you can't help but question if this is why maybe so many ponies do get laminitis from eating these cereals, especially ponies that tend to be a bit fatter anyway, like natives that well, just ponies in general are more prone to laminitis, but you see more and more now even horses are getting laminitis a lot with other metabolic issues. So it is a real problem, and like equine obesity in general is just a massive problem. So that was something else that we took into consideration. All my horses are kind of native of some sort. Archie's Cobb cross. I have 2 Welsh Bees, and Milo is Cobb cross Irish Draft, so he's a bit heavier, a bit naturally more of a better doer anyway. So it's very important now to monitor their weight so closely, because Bryn really didn't have much grass, and we were very careful of his weight anyway. He was on what was deemed to be safe, a safe product for laminitic ponies. Yeah, limited grass, limited hay, full work. He was competing up to novice. So yeah, I can't really like stress enough how important it is to not just make these comments like, oh, like my pony's looking a bit fat. It's not just enough to say that, you need to be acting on it and doing something about it. So we have decided to completely switch all our ponies onto cereal free where possible. So their main feed is all going to be from Simple Systems, which is obviously cereal free, really low in sugar, no molasses. I'll show you the bags, which tells you just about everything, but yeah, just so much better for them. So we haven't entirely swapped over yet, just because we're using up the feed we've got, and then they will switch. So some of it is still waiting to get used. That's why I've managed to set this up, although 3 of them are on the Simple Balance Plus now. So yeah, that is my main 2 reasons. Branching off from the kind of overweight laminitic issue, Finn actually was also on this, the same balancer that was meant to be safe for laminitis, which still actually had quite a lot of starch and sugar in it, which obviously isn't good for laminitis. So he actually, I can't remember quite how long ago it was, I think it was last year now, he all of a sudden in a really short space of time put on quite a lot of weight, obviously monitoring it, and he did put on quite a lot of weight really quickly, which was obviously quite alarming as well. So that was another, again, real awakener to the problem. So we've taken him off of that, took him off of it immediately, and he has been so much more consistent in his weight. He's been out for hours on the grass all summer, and he stayed within the same kind of leeway of weight the whole summer long, so I'm really pleased with him. I'm going to obviously continue to monitor it into winter, and we have been very careful with all our horses this year. So those are really summed up the reasons why we have gone cereal free now. So this lovely little one is Fabergé. Fabergé is a Welsh Section B purebred. He is just over 13.2 at the moment, so although he's a Welsh Section B, he's a very big one. He's 2 years old, and he is currently being fed the Simple Balance Plus, and he is going to, once we finish up using the products we currently use so that they're gone, he is going to go on to the Lucy Stalks and the Pura Beat probably, as well as the Simple Balance Plus. This is Finn. Finn is 3 years old, and he is 12 free stroke 13 hands on a good day. He has actually just been turned away. Over summer he's just been having a little handful of the Lucy nuts in his feed, just to give him something to eat really, because he can live on thin air. Over winter he is possibly going to go on to the Simple Balance Plus, depending on how his weight is, and he is also going to be having the Lucy Stalks and probably the Pura Beat. So this is my lovely 4-year-old Milo. Milo, like the other two, is currently fed on, or will be fed on, Simple Balance Plus, the Lucy Stalks and the Pura Beat. He is doing so well on the Simple Balance Plus. We're really impressed with him. He just goes really well on it. He looks really well. He did have a couple of issues with dropping some weight, I think a winter or 2 winters ago, and since then he's been perfect. He's maintained his weight so well, so we're really pleased with him, and probably in the future we might explore a couple more avenues with the feed from Simple Systems, but at the moment, for his age and level of work, we're really happy with it as it is. So for anyone that is maybe unaware, this is the one and only Archie, the reason why we started our cereal free journey. He is currently competing up to elementary. He's training a couple of the medium moves. We'd like to maybe move up to medium next year, but we'll have to see how he goes. So he is currently being fed the Timothy Chop and the Simple Balance Plus on a daily basis. When he competes or goes away training, has a lesson, that sort of thing, he has the Blue Bag Timothy grass pellets, just to give him that extra little bit of energy, which has worked really well for him. And in between that as well, especially in the hot weather, he's been having the hay care, which he absolutely loves, made up into a mash. I can't even tell you how happy it makes him. All the boys also had some in the really hot weather, when it was like 30 odd degrees or more. They all had some of that to keep them hydrated. It's a really handy one to have on the yard. So a massive thank you for watching this video. I hope you have found it informative in some way or just interesting to watch. make sure that you do let me know if you go and check Simple Systems out. Just pop me a DM on Instagram or comment down below. They really are such an amazing company, so they're definitely worth a look, especially if you are looking to change your horse's feed. Again, as well, obviously I can't provide loads of information, but if you have any questions, feel free to again DM me on Instagram or comment below, and I will answer them as best I can. And if I can't, I will let you know and either get an answer from Simple Systems for you, or you can contact them on their feed line, where they are so good. They really take their time to talk to you through products and answer all the questions you have. So thank you so much again for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe for more, and also feel free to share this video on your Instagram story and tag me. I will reshare them to my story. Bye!